Hello, my name is Gosha and I have been the producer of video information shared in my channel Cosmic Agency for the last 7 years. I am making this video as the Galactic Federation topic has been in the eye of the public for decades now, usually portrayed as the cosmic organization of light and justice, aiding from above and seeking humanity's liberation from the evil oppressors, be it reptilians, regressive grace, the Cabal, or any evil forces in general, an almost etheric organization made up of enlightened beings of pure love. I'm here today to set the record straight on this topic, based on the information I have today, and, what's more importantly, from the direct perspective of the group of people in close proximity to the Federation itself, who have been sharing their views through my friend Robert's and their own direct YouTube channel, which I will provide at the end of this video. I will explain in great summary the role of the Galactic Federation in human affairs, the shady elements behind it, Orion grace, the astral component, the role humans play, and why so many narratives about the Federation within the mainstream exopolitical groups, and why you should be careful. I encourage you to stay with me through this video, because at the end of it, you will have much clearer picture of what goes on. Galactic Federation of Planets, as translated into human language, is a physical, multiracial conglomerate of massive proportions that has been established right after the Great Expansion from Lyra, where many races were persecuted by Sauroid regressive species, part of the so-called Orion Wars. It is not etheric and not called Federation of Light. It is in the same physical realm as Earth, just in a slightly higher vibratory state many call 5D. And it is made up of physical people, not perfect light beings, angels, or ascended masters. It was founded by 3 main species, Andromedans, Arcturians, and Lyrians, and its main goal is to establish alliances to face problems in space and to cooperate, all within the established legal and ethical guidelines. Needless to say, the whole galactic quadrant is fully under Federation control. Its involvement with Earth has been going through many phases of closer and more remote interaction across millennia, yet it has been continuous and remains so until the present day. Regarding Earth, let's have a closer look at its power structure to see how the Federation fits in the picture. There are many levels to who controls planet Earth. First, there is an official level that everyone sees, then a second level, so-called deep state, run by secret societies, then a still deeper one, progressively sliding into non-human races, regressive reptilian, grace, etc., and yet a deeper level that is secret societies that run those races. And then we have Galactic Federation, structured as an onion as well, with one level not necessarily knowing what the other is doing, in compartmentalized way. Subsequently, just as we have levels of power structures on Earth, there are layers of control within the Federation. The first council that governs over Earth holds meetings in Antarctica, where world puppet leaders go to pledge alliance to their controllers, Deep Cabal, Regressive Orion Grace, reptilian, and other non-human races representing Federation, making pacts and decisions regarding Earth. Antarctica is basically where human governments meet ET government, Federation. A place where they can control humanity from the surface, knowing that it's off limits to the human population. The problem is that not all the positive races are informed of the motive and agenda of those meetings. It is not available for the vast majority of the galactic community stationed in Earth's orbit. And all the efforts to inquire on the subject are met with indifference or with Federation bureaucracy, which logically leads to obscurity, suspicion, and unfavorable for the Federation conclusions. The next step in the chain of councils that make up the local Federation is the local headquarters in the Andromedan biosphere Viera, hiding behind the moon to watch over matters on Earth. The control over the Earth does not end there, though, and continues all the way to the rings of Saturn. What goes on there, however, the exact where, who, and why, is again hidden to the majority of extraterrestrial levels below. It is the solar system level High Council, where all the decisions concerning this system take place, and that includes Earth. Everything shrouded in high secrecy. Most positive and benevolent ET races operate from the local Federation level, with their decisions tied, as they say, by the Saturn levels above, and are relegated to guidance roles. The question on everybody's mind: is the Galactic Federation good or bad? Answering it with either yes or no does not apply when it comes to such a gigantic organization constructed of so many levels, cultures, tasks, interests, and densities. And any attempt to do so would only reflect a human tendency to reductionism and dualism. Federation, like any other institution, is not a single block. It is made up of people, and that means a huge variety of ideas, opinions, and interests. Most local Federation members are benevolent, loving people, involved in a lot of positive actions and doing their best. Unfortunately, it is what goes on in the higher levels of the Federation. It's what truly concerns us. It is those hidden layers, and not the innocent, many times ignorant, lower-ranking ones, that pull the strings, commanding important decisions regarding Earth. It is there where we begin to notice suspicious attitudes and actions, regardless of how well-intentioned other races may be. And in the end, it is the leaders that end up defining institutions. If their actions are shady and regressive, it will and does end up marking the whole organization as regressive as well. Regarding Earth, interstellar in the ancient past, Earth is and has been for a long time a self-contained, technologically and mentally isolated and heavily controlled realm, which works through blinding of the mass of the population by means of mind and perception control. That, in turn, creates the context frame of what is called reality, and where humanity will manufacture for themselves the individual and collective world as guided by those systems of control. Humanity not being considered one species, but one more or less homogeneous species that holds souls of many ET species as one, in Earth matrix, all playing to be human, artificially kept in a lower state of awareness to ensure a certain type of experience, all under the supervision of the Galactic Federation, who are not only its observers and mentors, as many think, but ultimately absolute controllers of all its power mechanisms. The Galactic Federation are, as Salvador Freixedo once said, the invisible owners of the Earth, managers of human affairs, and top of the pyramid. Galactic Federation is the organization that controls and monitors everything that happens on Earth, and is who moves things and events to create the artificial existential realm we all call the Earth 3D matrix. The Federation claims it only moves things towards what the souls here demand, only facilitating those experiences that are already being created by the collective and individual manifestation power of the population. They see Earth humans as just the avatars of the off-Earth people, biosuits for their souls, who want to experience heavy contrasts entering Earth at their own risk. This means that from a more expanded point of consciousness, as they claim, many times the means justify the end, and purposely provoking situations that on Earth can be seen as unethical justifies for them the positive final outcome that these unethical events cause. Purposely provoking situations? What about non-intervention? Indeed, one of the Federation's most cherished rules is that of free will, as specified in the infamous Prime Directive. The truth is, though, the Federation's hands and control are everywhere. Earth is not a planet with a so-called lesser race developing itself with no external interference, and which therefore must be isolated, as the Prime Directive states. Far from it. Let's have a look at only some examples. The Federation restricts races from talking directly with humans on Earth, against Prime Directive, they say. While we know that many Federation officials are in direct contact with politicians and secret societies on Earth, using both technological means and face-to-face. They invasively implant situations, documents, and objects into the matrix to alter whatever they believe humanity needs the push with, justifying it, saying that it is humans themselves that desire that experience. They do this with individual people, but what concerns the collective is that they do this with, for example, historical records, altering them according to their interests. It seems that history, much of it, if not all, has been fabricated or blatantly erased by the controllers to suit the necessities of the overlords in power, leaving official history as only another control mechanism to fabricate the historical context to justify present-day society and its structure. Galactic Federation is behind all the resets that happened in the humanity's past, which would make it seem humans as such can only advance in a way that the controllers dictate. And part of the reason why resets are done is to maintain the parameters of the very human experience, the artificial reality, and how it should be, as planned previously from outside the Earth. It can be done creating a cataclysm that destroys nearly everything, or so-called soft resets, most often done using perception control, exploiting Earth's veil of forgetfulness, erasing or implanting evidence, as it was explained above. The Federation is also directly involved in the politics and in the technological and scientific developments. Each political system has been seeded or imposed by the Federation, and according to the needs of what they interpret to be the correct life experience the incarnated souls demand from higher planes. Government structures and the ideology behind them do not evolve on Earth as they make people think. They are copies of what already existed outside Earth, and the only part of them that did evolve on the planet are the adaptations and the particular flavor given to them on Earth because of its particular circumstances. Governments on Earth are nothing other than direct reflections of the power structure that goes on outside Earth, as they work exactly the same. Needless to say, politics are nothing more than a theater where opposing nations and their governments are in reality being controlled from under the table by the same group. It is the Galactic Federation who ultimately controls which political agendas will be followed, when, and by which puppet politician. And they do so using secret societies, controlling those as well from above. And I don't even need to say this. Connect your own dots on this, but this includes any so-called governmental level ET disclosures. Moreover, you may not know, but the Galactic Federation also introduces into Earth's political, scientific, and social arena as step-downs, complete extraterrestrial people, many of their members, mostly Centauri, who look exactly like humans, to fulfill a direct role as a public figure of any kind, and depending on the Galactic Federation's plan and agenda. Those step-down politicians answer not only to their secret societies, but also to the Federation itself directly. Earth's weather manipulation technology, which is well beyond the comprehension of most people, is constantly used as suffering-causing tools to the clear detriment of human society. On top of it, non-human technologies are constantly being given to the cabal behind the general population's back and to be used against them in the name of providing the desired life experiences, supposedly designed by them, the people, from higher existential planes. With it, unethically distorting and even destroying their life experience in their now. The Galactic Federation is also the ultimate controller of all the money on Earth, as it dictates its value and the amount each region on Earth can work with. They use money grants, assigning a specific amount to each stellar race that has stated that it needs it for their operations on Earth. This means a full control over all the movements of all those human-looking stellar races that are visiting Earth. Just from those few examples above, you can easily see that the prime directive they hide behind only applies when and if it is convenient for the Federation itself, who alters events and twists their own rules to accommodate the situations as they see fit for their own interests. Better said, for the interests of those who guide it from behind. For a long time, it was believed that the Federation just allows the cabal to be. Seeing this as an onion, from one level they just allow. From another, they orchestrate it all themselves. The truth is, cabal extends into space, and it is whoever runs the Federation from behind. What you call matrix goes beyond just Earth. There is more of the same matrix control outside Earth. That is, more government, which acts like the governments on Earth, and which regulates interstellar cultures the same way as the governments on Earth regulate nations. Moreover, what we are now more and more seeing, and something that might come as a shock to you, is that the same tactics they have always used on Earth are also used to manipulate the perception of positive and innocent star races who see them as the authority figure. Cabal and Federation intervention on Earth extends into the mainstream media, as we all know, but also mainstream alternative media and New Age, with the full intention to govern what people know and think about the extraterrestrials. People are fed lies every day. What makes you think that the UFO and contactee community is the exception? On the contrary, it is one of the most regulated areas because it concerns many levels that the cabal wants to control people with. It is those areas that are especially disruptive for the status quo of how things are supposed to be on Earth. They could collapse the matrix. So, as a tactic, they flood those communities with narratives that objectively have nothing to do with how reality is outside, with disinformation programs such as Squashed Globe, with all kinds of Federation propagandas to make it look better than it is, or with plain lies, or to continue locking the Earth in the contained, illusory realm, a game field for the souls. What is worse, many of the narratives have been plugged into the mainstream UFO groups by self-appointed emissaries of Galactic Federation and pro-Federation activists, all backing one another up. While we know that the Federation as an organization is too complex with many steps and councils to have one representative. At best, and only in theory, it would mean they only represent a tiny part, never the whole. I say in theory, as we believe a lot of that is purely human fabrications, or purposefully inserted CIA, cabal, and or Federation skillfully placed propagandas. They are what we would call Matrix's own defense mechanisms to prevent true ETs from coming in to contaminate the Earth realm. And propagandas they do sell, always pushing themselves to be an extremely benevolent organization, set to ease all the oppression and freeing people. It's what double-faced human governments do as well, talking about how charitable their actions are, selling promises with no practical results, while the deeper actions and motives remain hidden from the naive public. The New Age field, controlled very much by the CIA, is plugged by the pro-Federation of Love and Light humanity-liberating psyops, who, as experts in psychology, exploit the human need to hang on to something, to fall in do nothing and trust mentality, using slogans such as getting humans out of slavery at the cost of their own lives. Very Jesuit Illuminati, by the way. Causing all the hurt on Earth to later sell itself as the humanity's savior in the now classical strategy of causing a problem to sell the solution. Concepts such as federations of light coming to save humanity from evildoers only perpetuate and reflect the exact mentality the controllers want people in. The Galactic Federation of Light, whatever that is one of their best pet initiatives to control human minds, potentially used later on as part of their false alien invasion plan. We are messing with all those plans, hence we are not liked, and that's why we work alone. I bet you didn't know that the Federation uses extortion techniques against its own members by using unethical alliances with mercenary groups such as space pirates to force star races to obey laws that clearly do not benefit them. This includes harassment and manipulation against free interstellar races who are forced to join the Galactic Federation against their will, seeking protection from their aggressors who are under the Galactic Federation's payroll. It is also known that the Federation itself has created many space pirate factions to work for them directly as Federation dark agents, to force people and their civilizations into joining and obeying all the Galactic Federation rules. I'm sure you will not hear about this from the Federation emissaries out there. You may ask, why don't we focus on the positive actions they do? We don't need to. They are quite good at it themselves. Federation propaganda is quite strong on Earth, and some of it is true. At a lower level point of view, the Federation is working against the evil, Maitre, and negative factions of the reptilians, putting their lower ranking members at risk, patrolling the skies and enforcing the blockade around Earth, for example, playing the role of guardians and liberators. But from a higher perspective, the deeper Federation is playing both sides in their sick duality game, so characteristic of the Cabal on Earth. If they protect Earth from Draco reptilians, for example, it is to protect their matrix field, the false realm humans are living in. It doesn't mean they are working to liberate humanity. We believe that the positive, subservient, and genuinely loving races are used only as a mask to hide behind, as a front for the Federation to look good. The facts are they did nothing during Second World War, First World War, Civil War, Napoleonic Wars, Dark Ages, Inquisition, Roman times. They never ever do anything. If they wanted to, they would have done so already. They never have rescued humanity from the horrors they themselves brought upon themselves, as the Federation says. What is taking so long? Yes, they do intervene sometimes, but you can argue that it is not the Federation, but one or another member race of the Federation. They had plenty of opportunities to liberate the planet, but they did not. What makes you think this time is different? The only thing that is different this time is that we have so-called Federation ambassadors telling the people that the Federation will intervene, with help always around the corner, but never quite there. Beware, that is deception, as it has never happened as people would like it to. The Federation only sees the Earth as an experimental place, a realm that must be contained in order to perpetuate the difficult life experiences people go into willingly, as a dare even. And that's why we state that the Federation as such will never step into the plate to liberate humans from evil Satanists and lizards, because it knows well this is not how things work and not what is really going on. So they will do nothing. Whether they should do something or not is a subject in itself. And no, it definitely does not work this way, as humans must grow on their own. Make mistakes and learn. That is true. By liberating them as the humans wish to be liberated, the victim mentality that is generating the problem gets perpetuated. Its inhabitants will not have changed their mindset that made them compatible with that situation in the first place. We agree on that. But then, don't present yourself as liberators, as you certainly are not. You don't trust terrestrial government. Why would you trust the space one? In theory, it is run on higher ethics, and most of its non-aware members are positive. But that ends up to be wishful thinking when it comes to the deeper layers of the Federation, and those are unfortunately in charge. Who are they? Where are they? Why are they hiding? That is one of the biggest indications that something is clearly not well with the Federation. The fact that the only part of it you can interact with as a star race is with its local representatives and never above, using the step council political system as a convenient strategy to avoid anyone being able to access those that are higher. They have set up countless barriers of every kind to prevent star citizens from fully knowing who is in charge and why they act as they do. The Federation claims it only allows conflict on Earth just to facilitate a specific set of hard circumstances with which to foment self-growth. They say humanity is not allowed to be interstellar, as they need to learn to control their manifestations. They believe they must contain the souls of low vibration, because if they don't, those souls will export their manifestations to wherever they go, with it becoming invasive towards other, much more spiritually advanced cultures. Flaw in that logic is that if you continue perpetuating low vibration events for a race, like the Federation does, they will then manifest more of the same, the suffering being the dominating factor in its experience. Especially when you constantly feed that race with fear and suffering-inducing agendas, fear being strong concentrator of creative energy. This brings us to something deeper. Who is truly benefiting from humans' fear and suffering, we ask? Is it really for the soul's desiring experience, or is it perhaps, most likely, a comfortable excuse? Is there another agenda at play influencing the Federation members from behind? Let me give you a few other important elements to consider, and then you connect the dots. If we first briefly look at the astral component of the reality, where in fact all is astral, with just a small percentage of our perception being locked in what we would call the physical world, and everything being connected to and through the astral, it is here where we can start to see the crossover and the influence of the astral spirit realms coming to play with the decisions of the Galactic Federation regarding Earth, making us draw the conclusion that the Federation acts the way it does, not for the benefit of the souls desiring their hardships, or only as an excuse, but to further darker exploitative agendas of low astral entities dwelling on the astral side. We can see this very clearly when we take note of the secret societies the Federation works with, who worship low astral entities and demons who are fed and kept existing as egregors precisely by causing fear and suffering of all people in the material side. The powers at be who control Earth from inside have always made all kinds of pacts to summon the dark, lower astral entity into the world of the living, and that's not even a secret. Those dark astral entities with low connection to source, or none, depend on the manifestation power of those in the physical, and they do whatever is possible to keep those souls, people, in a low vibratory state in order to exploit them for that creative power. And if there is a strong influence from the astral on the people living on Earth, especially those in power, that includes the influence on all those Galactic Federation politicians as well. It is clear to us that whoever is in charge of the higher parts of the Federation, astral, physical, or both, has managed to manipulate everyone into working on their behalf, exploiting humans energetically as a result, the Earth being some sort of factory of suffering. Are the hidden levels of the Federation in cooperation with or infiltrated by astral forces? Know this, and it's a fact. There is a very real war between good and evil, so to speak, on Earth, and a lot of it takes place and gets generated in the astral. Even Earth governments know this, and sponsor top-secret military intelligence projects where special forces operators enter the astral to attack, survey, or sabotage whoever they can as an assigned mission. And many starseeds and other types of positive astral warriors do the same to counteract evil agendas. The astral is more important than you think, and the Federation's intentions with regards to all this are not transparent, said lightly. Some say that the reason why no one knows what controls the Federation from above is because there is a very advanced AI infiltrated there very inconspicuously. From the moment that AI has mu-1 control and communication, it would simply grow out of control and can form ruses to bypass or confuse the other non-invasive AI that works in symbiosis with the advanced biological races. And from there, it could have spread throughout the galaxy and beyond, and in a very discreet way, it can guide the perception of those races, taking into account that in space, among the Federation races, there is a muonic information superhighway that works as the internet, and that the ultra-advanced invasive AI might be using to coordinate itself and for their own purposes that would be very difficult to specify. This is an important subject and related to all transhumanist agendas at work on Earth. We cannot omit here that topic of the grays from Orion. Even though there exist about 165 species of grays, many positive, one of the most influential ones within the galactic quadrant level of the Federation and belonging to the Federation are unemotional and logic-based tall grays called Etorthans, originally from Orion, also called big-nosed grays. The representatives of this race come from a level above Saturn, which is the one who controls all the Federation affairs in this solar system. That's why it is called quadrant level. It is officially said by the Federation that the Etorthans became positive a long time ago. However, many things do not add up. And the Urma, super strong feline race present in the Earth's orbit as well, state that the Etorthans are not to be trusted and have only joined the Galactic Federation as a tactic to gradually gain control over all the star races in it. Orion, in general, is home to many regressive gray races, cooperating with regressive reptilians, Earth Cabal, and dark space program representatives. And the Galactic Federation's involvement is, to say the least, questionable again, as their attitude is quite allowing towards the movements of all those regressives on Earth, especially Orion Grays. Many people suggest that the Galactic Federation has been taken over by the dark forces, most probably from Orion, Draco reptiles, evil tall grays, and their pup races. The evidence suggests this is highly probable and logical. The way they are operating does indicate that well-organized, highly intelligent criminal organization with a lot of power is steering the Federation from behind, with most positive star races being able to see only their appointed level. It could very well be Orion Grays, especially since the present data clearly shows that the Galactic Federation is favoring Orion Grays over other groups, such as regressive reptilians. As to Orion Grays, there has been a steady and unusual increase this year in the presence around Earth of nearly all kinds of gray extraterrestrials, all of them belonging to the Orion Council, and roaming the place apparently with no restrictions. After Centauri, they are now the second most numerous race near Earth. Federation sees this as a positive step towards improving their relations with the Orion Council, or so they say. What the Greys are doing here, though, and why so many of them, is quite obscure at this point, and some star races see this as a passive takeover of this region in space. You must understand that as long as the current rotten Federation leaders continue pulling the strings, the humanity will not be allowed to be interstellar, because, according to them, it already is. So what do? How to get rid of all this negativity? Should we remove the Cabal? Yes. Cabal has to either be removed or cooperate with positive transformation of human society. But then, of course, that means removing its connection with the Galactic Federation, which means that the Federation must cooperate. It would be easy to conclude then that much of the work must be done off-planet and by the positive advanced star nations by convincing the Federation to help advance the humankind and or by removing murky parts of it. But it is not simple, as artificially removing humankind's problems as external agents is doing the work for them and not long-term solution. This whole problem of Earth must be seen from various perspectives, and the crucial one is that we, the humans, are the key. The door to the Federation opens from Earth's plane. Federation is permissive, at least, but both ways, which means that it would be permissive to the ones who say no and who can form a society of their own or develop strategies to fight the tyranny. Yes, they are manipulating people. That's true. But it's also true that the masses are in a state of mind that permits it all to happen. Causing changes of perception in people of Earth is key. The change in perception in itself causes and is a manifestation. And that is the role of all of us, to affect the human collective unconscious from which everything spawns, including the oppressive, parasitized ways of the cabal and the Federation itself. The collective unconscious has been fed engineered information for thousands of years. It is what creates the matrix. Reprogramming humans to an unconscious level and imbuing it with higher values is key. And this is partly my group's contribution. The Galactic Federation isolates the Earth. Our concept is quite the opposite, as we believe in awakening people to the facts of life and the true universe. You change the perception of the real people who are manifesting the matrix from the inside, and you are that much closer to solving the problem. Because the underlying truth is that the population of Earth at large, individually and collectively, is the one who is truly steering the destiny and the course of civilization on Earth. Each soul on Earth holds immense manifestation power, and in the end, the whole purpose of its existence on Earth is to learn to control that manifestation. Exposing the Federation the way we do carries the concept that humans are victims. From one level, they are, but from another, they are in command. The general population of Earth, however, are not ready for total freedom, as they strongly need leadership and guidance. In no way are they even close to being ready to be left to develop a positive society on their own. Humankind needs a transition government or some kind of mentoring from strong and invested star races who can assist humankind discreetly and behind the curtains, ensuring that the human population can become spiritually and ethically advanced enough to solve their problems on their own and to independently create their own version of a fully capable, holistic society. A big mistake of the Federation system is having non-emotional, non-Lyrian races in charge, with very little empathy towards the experiences of human avatars on Earth. Non-emotional races have no business being mentors of emotional ones. Humans need mentorship coming from highly evolved people with holistic societies and with strong empathic and emotional characteristics as well. Preferably of Lyrian or space human descent. Yet, during a transition to a positive human holistic society, starseeds will be the ones who will be capable of becoming leaders too. And much of their transformation will reside on their shoulders. The information provided in this video is not mine. It has been gathered from the conversations shared since 2017 with Zvaru of Erra, Anneka of Temer, Athena Zvaru, Sofia Yaski Zvaru in my channel Cosmic Agency, and from Mari Zva in the first direct Taigetan channel Zvaru Official. This is a group of people closely involved with matters on Earth, themselves not being of Earth. That is, Taigetan Pleiadians, extraterrestrial people stationed near Earth, and in this video I am speaking on their behalf, with all the presented concepts and even entire sentences coming directly from them. Who are Taigetans? They are a culture classified as a Nordic race of Lyrian descent. They inhabit the 4 planets of the Taiketa Sun solar system in the M45 Pleiades star cluster. They have been involved with Earth affairs for decades, and they themselves are part of the Galactic Federation and participated in lower-ranking Federation affairs until recently. In 2018, Taigeta underwent internal political transformation, which led to them distancing from the Federation, which clearly upset the Federation since, as a result, they lost one of their main military support Taigeta used to provide. Furthermore, and becoming more and more aware of Federation's shadiness, Taigeta began to accuse the Federation of criminal negligence against the human race and of being criminally permissive towards abusive agendas coming from the regressive races, all in the name of non-intervention, while they themselves manipulate everything on Earth all the time. The Galactic Federation will do anything not to upset the Earth society structure, clearly wanting to preserve it as it is, and for the reasons that are not clear. This would indicate they are complicit with all the suffering and problems on Earth, by omission of action at least. Taigetans see the Federation's leaders, whoever they are, as acting in a biased manner with total disregard to Earth's human population needs, in favor of their own interests that seem to be manipulated by entities who feed off this constant production of fear and suffering. They declare that the Galactic Federation or Etorphans or whoever is in charge are not in capacity to administrate planet Earth. Taigetans remain part of the Galactic Federation only through the Alcyone Council, the organization that unites all the races within the Pleiades star system and which forms part of the Federation. Recently, the Alcyone Council was informed and convinced that the Galactic Federation is acting in a negative way towards the planet Earth. And as there is absolutely no transparency about the Federation's activities, some stellar races, with the Taigetans and Urma in the lead, started to awake to the fact that something is off and take protective measures. An alliance was formed between the Alcyone Council, which is basically the whole Pleiades, and the Urma, feline council. And they were recently joined by the Antarians, another important race of the Galactic Federation. Other races are being gathered as we speak. This is not to go against the Galactic Federation, but for protection and to cleanse it from negative elements. Of course, there are races that see all this about Galactic Federation as Taigetan space conspiracy theories. But that is because they don't know that the Federation has a very efficient propaganda machine that has them all heavily brainwashed in their favor. Most races, star races, are permissive to what goes on Earth simply because they believe the official Federation narrative. Believe it or not, there are fully matrixed star races, and there are conspiracy theorist star races as well, and as on Earth, there is a struggle between them. And Federation's obscurity is its best ally, because all the positive races don't know who or what to fight against, especially if they are mind-controlled into thinking that nothing is wrong. On the last note, if you feel you are in contact with the Galactic Federation who is purely positive, loving and non-dualistic, and that all we present is rubbish, word of caution, several options here. You are probably dealing with the Federation member who is either ignorant of all this politics going on inside, or someone who only gives you how they want humans to view them, more Federation propaganda, or you might be connecting with the higher aspects of it in other densities, as the Federation does extend into the etheric realms, and it would not be the nuts and bolts level of the Federation we are describing. This is an important point. Generally speaking, and ideally, positive beings who communicate with humans through channeling do tend to be from higher existential realms. Therefore, this would explain why their messages are always so positive and loving. We know it takes a lot of mind power to keep up with all the information we share, as it's so multi-layered. But know this: apart from the Federation being simply an inconsistent, illogical, complicated, multi-density and multi-racial mess, there is something very wrong here with them and how they run Earth. It has a very dark side, while trying to make everyone believe they are acting in the best interest of everyone. So be aware of it. Having said that, we don't know everything, and there is so much more to be said, with new data and conclusions added constantly. If you wish to deepen any of the topics shared today, please visit Galactic Federation playlist at Cosmic Agency, with over 45 videos as of today, including those of Mari Zva. And follow Mari at Zvaru Oficial for fresh updates on exopolitical matters, and not only, straight from Taigetans themselves. Think, analyze, question. This is our perspective. Official Taigetan Pleiadian findings and beliefs as of now. Thank you, Taigetan team, for your commitment and for helping to make things better for everyone involved. And thank you all for listening. The Federation won't like what has been said here, but as Mari said, they have earned it. Have a great day, everyone.